Good morning, family. Welcome to HGW Community 72. The HGW stands for Homegrown Wellness Community 72. I am Ms. B, Bohemian Soul. Welcome to the channel if you are new here, and welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. So, it is very sunny. I'm trying to block the sun out my eyes, but I don't know. It is early in the morning. I am doing laundry. And so that's why I sound like a little frog lady as well. So listen, let me get right on into this. The title of this video is Grief, or Loss and Grief Will Prepare You for Hard Life Lessons. Loss and grief will prepare you for hard life lessons. I'm going to be speaking from my personal experience. So, at 25 years of age, I lost my mom. And I use the word loss. Some people get very, very spiritual and they're like, oh, you know, you didn't lose your mother. Well, yeah, I did lose my mom. And the reason why I say that, and I'm so okay with that, is my mother was not misplaced. When you misplace something, you know, you're able to find it again physically. You know, you're able to recoup that item in which was misplaced. When you lose something, it is gone. Like, you cannot physically touch it again. You cannot use it again. If it was, say, your phone, you have to replace it, right? So yes, at the age of 25, I lost my mom, whom was my best friend, hands down. And I realized my mom was my best friend when I was about 17, 18 years of age. You know, young teenage girl, excuse me. And, I realized, like, I shared everything with my mother. My secrets. A lot of girls my age, a lot of people that I knew, they would have conversations about boys and things like that and what they wanted to do in life, their future, stuff like that, with their girlfriends. I did that with my mom. But she also created that type of environment so that I felt comfortable. So at 25, my mom lost her life to lung cancer, which she got through lifestyle, right? She's a big time smoker. Grew up in South Carolina. My mom was born in 44, what have you. Then 10 years later, at the age of 35, I lost my brother, my only sibling. Not only was he my only sibling, but he was my big brother. Greg and I were like 5.5 years apart. Looked a lot alike. My dad's genes, those Fawcett genes, are very, very strong. So, yeah. And had to bury him. He passed what was called intestate. So he had just started a new job. And there was like no, life insurance. So he literally dropped dead in his kitchen due to lifestyle choices. I'll say that. But he was my big brother. He was my superhero. So that happened at 35. 5 years later, 2012. So I lost my mom in 97. Lost my brother in 2007. And then in 2012, unfortunately, I lost my dad to congestive heart failure due to smoking. My dad also was born in 44. My brother passed at 42. Yeah. But anyhow, lost my dad. Dad succumbed to, like I said, congestive heart failure due to his lifestyle of smoking heavily, like my mom, poor diet. Itch on my arm. poor diet, and he was a heavy drinker, so that jacked up the arteries and all that stuff in his heart. So he succumbed to that. But not only I was 40, had been married 2 years to my second husband. That marriage would last for a total of 14 years. And I had a 1-year-old when my dad passed, my son, my ex and I's eldest, our son. And I was 6 months pregnant with our baby girl. Yeah, 6 months pregnant. And my chin is real shiny. But anywho. So, I dealt with those losses. I dealt with those losses of my immediate family. And I was young. And for anyone that has experienced anything like this, please make sure that you are getting therapy and counseling from professionals, because it is definitely needed. So the grief or the grieving process obviously looks different for everyone. And for me, in that time frame span, so from 97 to when my mom passed to 2012, I had 3 major losses in my life. And for me, my grief turned to anger. I became very angry. I became angry with the Lord. I'm gonna be honest, and be real transparent, and would say things like, how dare you, take them away from me. But it was revealed to me that it was their lifestyles that got them up out of here. It was their lifestyles. And I had to ask the Lord, forgive me, which of course he did. But I grieved in becoming very angry and becoming very bitter. But then there was a sense of strength that I got. I got strengthened through that. I got strengthened through those losses. And so you may say, well, what does that have to do with life lessons? So hard life lessons. So for me, I remember we're coming towards the end of my marriage, literally the last day that my ex-husband and I were in the same space. And we had the biggest, I'll never forget, March 23rd, 2024. We had the biggest blowout ever. Let me go back really quick. I remember saying to myself as a young girl, I remember I was in boot camp. So Marines, we have 12 weeks boot camp. And I was in week 8. And I remember sitting up on my bunk saying to myself, I don't know what I would ever do. I would die if I lost my mom. If my mom died, I would die too. I would ball up and just die right along with her. Like life would end for me. And so fast forward to the argument. The last day that we're husband and wife, we're sharing this, not the last day because the divorce came months later, but that we shared the same space. And so if the words that we were using towards each other were physical, we both would have been beaten to death because it was lethal. It was lethal, but it literally was the end. It was the end. And so I remember, and you can probably see, I don't know if you can see it, the band ring finger. You can still see the band, because I had never taken my wedding band off in 14 years. And we're in the heat of the battle. And he is saying some really hard, harsh, heavy-hitting words, a barrage of words. And he's standing in back of me. And I'm literally like in the kitchen preparing dinner. And I remember taking my ring off, slamming it on a counter, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. This marriage has been done, but I am officially done. All of what you're saying, I remember saying this to him, all of what you are saying, I could care less. I have dealt with real loss prior to this. And he looked at me. He was like, what are you talking about? So let me tell you something. Mom, my brother, my father. Got through it. Lost them. Because at this point, he was saying things like, you know, you're not going to be able to make it without me. You know, stuff like that. Stuff trying to mess with my head. And that just does not work for me. I don't know what made him think he could do that. And I said, you know, I have suffered and prevailed and came out well. So we both know that this is the end of this said marriage. I will be just fine. I will be just fine. And I meant it. And he knew, like, oh, shoot, you know, like this is it. So I just wanted to come and talk to the family about how you can really use loss and grief as a source of strength to deal with hard life circumstances, issues, what have you. So that's it, family. I hope this helps someone. Because it helped me. If you are not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. I am still growing my channel, and I have a goal to reach of 1,000 subscribers. Not even to get monetized, but that's just a goal that I have. Because I never started this YouTube channel for monetization purposes. But that's just a personal goal that I want to hit. Listen, remember, be great to yourself because you are great. Be great to your family. They deserve your greatness. Be great to your community. Without love, self-love first, we have absolutely nothing. And as always, clarity is key. But without consistency, we have no balance. Family, share this with someone you love. Be well.